It's time to meet some movers and shakers, people making waves, the Wakulla WaveMakers.
This is Brian English, and I'm here with Coach Scott Klees. We're doing another WaveMaker. Every year, Scott comes on to tell us about his fantastic football team. Tell us about your upcoming season, your first game. Give us an update. What's going on?
Oh man, it's been a great summer. We started getting ready for this coming year in January. We start our workouts, and then we go straight into spring football, 7-on-7. The players have been working extremely hard in the summertime. We go Monday through Thursday from 9 to about 11:30. And then, of course, we throw 2 or 3 nights a week or on a weekend. So the players have been very busy. The coaches have been very busy. We've been in where the JV goes in the morning time from 9 to 11 since official practices started, and the varsity does their official practice depending on the heat, usually from 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, somewhere in that area. So they've been working very hard. We're very proud of this team. We love their work ethic. Now it's just putting it all together, and then we'll start getting them on film and seeing where we'll put them and make a depth chart and get ready to roll.
Oh, wow. Well, let's start at the top. Give us a little update on the quarterback. I think you might know him a little better than some of the other players.
Yeah, the quarterback room is really good this year. We got Owen Klees. He's coming back. He started for us last year. He was a first-team All-Big Ben, first-team FACA Player of the Year. So we're excited to have him back. And then we got 2 other quarterbacks. We got Heath McMillan, that's going to be a senior. That's a backup that's really worked hard and improved each and every year. And then we have a young quarterback that's a sophomore, Jace Hoffman, that I think is going to be a really special quarterback in the future. He'll have a great chance to start at safety for us as a sophomore, and then kind of like Owen did. Owen started as a sophomore at safety when Hayden was a senior. And then he went to the role of quarterback, and Jace, it looks like, is going to do the same thing that Owen did. So the quarterback room's pretty healthy. I don't care what league you're in, if you're in Pop Warner, rec league, or professional football team, if you don't have a good quarterback, kind of like the Bulldogs, you're probably not going to be very successful this year.
If we can keep Lag away from getting hurt, you gotta love it. Scott, he works very, very hard at everything he does. I've got to go ahead and get this in here. I mean, if you haven't heard, because it's all over all media outlets, I believe. Scott was nominated, and he's a Hall of Famer here in the state of Florida. I don't know the exact details, but I know it's long overdue. One thing I'm going to tell you about Coach Klees is he puts Jesus in front of everything he does. And what he does, he's all in. I have the fortune to be able to hunt with him in the fall, and he can't do a whole lot until the season's over. But when it is, he's up there constantly. I can't get rid of him. But, congrats on the Hall of Fame thing. It means a lot, not just to you, but to the community, because you've done so many things for so many kids and even their parents. Tell us about that.
It was an honor, a humbling experience. The state of Florida, FACA, nominated me, or not for sure quite how it worked, but they selected me is the best word, and it'll happen on January 10th. I'll go down to Orlando, and they'll have a little ceremony there. So, but it goes back to it's all about the community, and this is a community award. And what I mean by that, if you don't have great players, this never happens. If you don't have great parents that get the great players to practice, it never happens. And especially our assistant coaches, they're probably more deserving of this award than me. They're who makes it happen, and they're there every day with me, making it happen every bit as just as responsible for this award. So I'm accepting it, but it's more of a Wakulla County award. I'm very appreciative of it, and it'll go down on January 10th.
Well, that's fantastic, and congratulations. And I know that comes sincerely from everybody here in Wakulla County, and I just think it's super. There's another Hall of Famer that you always bring up, and that happens to be Nicole Klees, your lovely wife. And ladies and gentlemen, they've got 3 boys. All of them are in sports. All of them love to do so many different things. And stretched thin would be an understatement for this family.
Absolutely. She is a Hall of Famer. And without a doubt, you can't be a coach without a good wife. It doesn't happen. It can't happen. You either have to quit coaching or get a divorce, which that's not going to happen. But a lot of coaches go through that because they have to be, people kid us all the time that we're the Griswolds. And it's kind of true because, when I'm working and I'm coaching, I'm away from the house quite a bit. Man, and our boys played travel baseball, travel football, you name it, they did it. And she put them in that her car, which was an old Yukon that had about 300,000 miles on it. And off she went. She packed that thing, and off she went by herself a lot of trips, and took them where they needed to be, where they could have what they needed. And then when I got my work done, I'd drive and meet them, on the weekends and be able to watch them play. But without a shadow of a doubt, she's the backbone of our family. She's the one who makes it run the way it's supposed to run. It's just a privilege to call her my wife, and I think she's the best mom in the world. And I know my kids would say that without a shadow of a doubt. So we're really proud of her. She does a lot of things behind the scenes in football to help out with our boosters, which our boosters are unbelievable. But she helps out in little things with them, as well as, she's our biggest fan. If you watch her up there on Friday night, she's going to be on that top row pacing back and forth. And then she also does the music in between the plays. If there's a timeout, halftime, things like that, she's up there doing that. So she stays quite busy. Very privileged that Nicole's my wife and the mother of my kids.
That's a great story, Scott. We need more of this. We need to hear more about people that are serving God, serving their families, and doing what we need to do. Going back to the local team here that you're privileged to coach, who's the unsung hero we need to watch? Who do you see out there on the team that we need to watch that you're really looking forward to?
Man, there's several of them that are really working hard. We're young in a lot of areas. Our offensive line, all 5 of those guys are going to be pretty good. We're expecting big things out of them. So if they play well, we got a chance. I think you win and lose your games up front on offense and defense. I mean, all the other guys look pretty and get all their pictures in the paper and score touchdowns, jumping around, but you win and lose with the guys up front. Those road graders is what we call them. So some of the guys at receiver, I think we got 2 of them, Brandon Hayes and Jaden Jean, that have a chance to have a lot of speed and been really working hard. Still got some improvement to do, but those guys, if they can get a little more consistent, you'll see big plays out of them. We're still working on the running back situation. Our linebackers, they have a great group. We got D-Rock is our starting linebacker. He's coming back for his 3rd year starting. He'll be a senior this year, so we really expect him to lead the defense. And then Rayshawn is coming on, got a lot of playing time last year, now full-time starter. Then we have Jones is a backup there, so it makes that room pretty special. The DBs are young. We just hope we don't blow coverages. We hope we line up right, and they're a work in progress. At every week we're going to have to get better there. And same with running back. We'll be running back by committee till one of them steps up and takes that position. But I think the guys to look out for are probably the 2 receivers. I think they'll make some big plays, and I think the linebackers get downhill and hit some people.
Coach, tell us a little bit more about your history, where you come from, when you got started in coaching, and what brought you here to Wakulla.
That's a good question. So when I was young, I went to North Florida Christian in high school. My dad was a coach. My older brother and my younger brother, we all 3 of us played sports all the way up. My dad made sure we were always involved in something, and his rule was, You do not have to work if you played sports. If you didn't play sports, you're going to work after school. You weren't coming home and doing nothing. So, I made sure I played all 3 sports because I didn't want to go to work. So, I was fortunate enough. I played football at North Florida. I played basketball at North Florida. I played baseball at North Florida. I went on and played college football at Valdosta State. Just had an awesome time there. Great school, great time. And I knew I was going to be a coach probably in about 9th or 10th grade when our basketball coaches would take us off to these camps. And I just loved it. And I was watching them, how much they loved being around us and investing their time and making a difference in our lives. I wanted to be that guy. So as soon as I graduated from college, I got my degree in education. Came out, started at school in Mount Pleasant, Florida. It's called Robert F. Monroe, a little private school.
Yeah.
And just wonderful people there. I coached pretty much everything. When I first started, I was assistant football coach, head basketball coach, and girls softball coach. And I loved all 3 of them. I ended up being the head football coach right there the last 2 years before I left to come to Wakulla. But my joy was that girls softball team. Man, it just changed my perspective. When I was growing up, I had all brothers, didn't have any girls. My poor mom was the only one in the household. I coached them just like it was a boys team. I didn't know any better. I was 22, 23 years old and just starting, you know what I'm saying? So I'm out there and, I'm hitting shots at them down third baseline. And I can remember the little girl on third, I won't say her name, but I can remember plain as day, hit a ball. And I said, you got to move your feet and get in front of the ball. This isn't, if you're going to play it, then you need to do it. And nothing but tears started coming out. And I said, oh boy, I messed up now. And then all the other girls were staring at me all mean. You just had to say water break. I got my thoughts together and I said, you're going to have to coach a little bit different and talk to these young girls a little bit different. But man, it was a joy to just watch them girls get after it and put everything they had into it. So I worked at Monroe for 7 years. Coach Jones called me and he had a rollover in staff. He asked me if I was interested in coaching here, being his defense coordinator, and then maybe one day having a chance, if we were successful, to take over. So I took that chance, came here to Wakulla, and the best decision I made in my life doing that. So his career changed, and we were able, with Coach Jones' leadership, we went to the playoffs in my first 4 years as defense coordinator and winning 3 playoff games in that time. And I believe we broke a streak as far as winning playoff. It was time. And Coach Jones, phenomenal coach, and he deserved to go out on top and winning, and I was able to be a part of that, and I appreciate that. And then I got the head job, and 24 years later, I'm here doing an interview with Brian English.
That's pretty awesome. But Coach, I always like to talk about leadership a little bit. I think that's an area in not just the community, but everywhere that we can always improve on. Try to tell us a little bit about your growth in leadership, maybe some mentors you had or situations you've been put in that really helped you grow as an individual, as a coach, and even a father.
Here's the interesting thing. I'm a control freak, and I've learned as I've got older that's not always a good thing. You have to be able to delegate those things. If you're going to be a leader, you got to get the ones that are underneath you, as far as assistant coaches, as far as people you're involved with, players, whatever, to rise up to where you are and train them where everybody's on the same page, working for the same common goal. And I think that's a lot of leadership that you learn as you get older. I also don't like going through hard times, and I trust in Jesus with all my heart. There's no question about that. And I know there's going to be valleys up and down, and I do not like going in the valleys. I do not. I like staying up top, and I kick, scream, and cry every time I go through them. I hate doing it. But that's when I've learned the most, is when the Lord's put situations on me that I can do nothing but trust Him. There's no out. There's no answer. There's no fixing it. There's nothing that Scott can do. It's going to have to be the Lord Jesus thing and a God thing. That's where I grow the most. And when I let him take control and I sit back and I just say, hey, Lord, it's yours. You fix it. And I'm going to trust that you do it. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't see any way out of this, but he's never failed me. And he's promised us that he'll never fail you. I think that's, the most important decision you're going to make in your life is accepting the Lord Jesus Christ. And then your next thing is who you pick to marry you. Those are my top two. Those are my top two things that I tell our community and everybody that I talk to is those things. You got to keep your priorities straight. And when those things get mixed up, that's when the valleys come.
That's right. Coach, this year my son Noah is getting to play football, and when we have many conversations about many things, I try to point to people that I know that are just a super positive influence on their life in every facet. And you're right up there at the top of the list. I says, if Coach Klees tell you something, don't just do it, but listen, because it's important. I mean, you have a great amount of influence, not just on the players, but even the parents of the players. I mean, we've got a great group of parents here in Wakulla County, but it all starts with the head ball coach. And, that wasn't necessarily a reference to the Gators, by the way. But, I want to give a little quick shout out, if you let me. Hayden is playing college ball a little bit away from home, and I know that's tough on you guys because he'll drive back whenever he can to try to go hunting, which it's important for you guys. And I see you sacrifice so much to spend time with all three of your boys. And I pay attention. You can't help but notice. And it's just a great thing to see. So can you give us a quick update on Hayden?
Yeah, Hayden's doing great. He's at Sanford University. He's in a battle, in the quarterback battle. The starter who started last year is coming back, so he's going to start. And then they had some transfer portal kids and some freshmen come in. So he's in a battle with all those guys. And I've been in his situation. He redshirted. He's able to play in a couple games last year, but was still able to keep his red shirt. So he's going to be a redshirt freshman this year. And I can remember, back in my day, just wanting to play. You just want to play. And he's in that situation where he wants to play. But my prayers for him, I don't pray for him to play. I pray for him when it's God's time for him to be put in there.
That's right.
And so he's doing really well. He does great in his classwork right now, and to me, that's the most important thing. He has a girlfriend that's still back here that we love to death. That's great. I mean, they got a great relationship. So, he's moving. He's getting older. He's making his own decisions now. I stay out of just about everything, which is hard for me to do. But I love when he calls me for advice. I love sitting there and talking to him and picking his brain and seeing what he's going through. He's just a special person, and he has his priorities straight, and my prayer is that he keeps heading down that path. But you talk about hunting. Hunting's what I call is my downtime. You go through a football season, my boys play football, but when you're coaching them, they're not my son, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I'm coaching, and they get it way more than any other player gets it. The wrath, a lot of times they take the wrath of someone else, but they understand that. I talk to them. You can't be easy on your own son, especially in a position that I'm in, and any of my boys. Yeah. And they can tell you some stories now. And it sounds pretty bad of me when they tell them stories. It don't sound like I'm the greatest dad in the world, but it's something about getting into nature and getting into what I call the hunting woods and able to go with my boys, which you've been a part of, and I'm very appreciative of you enabling us to hunt with y'all. So, and like you said, we don't hunt a lot, but when we get there, we are dedicated. We're there. We don't go home. We're there. And
these guys hunt all day. They don't mess around.
Yes, and but it's special. The things we get to talk about. We're not on our phones. We're out in the woods where there's not a lot of service. We all eat together. We all go somewhere together, and they're a part of good men. And our hunting camp is full of good men that I can leave my sons with, and I trust that the people in there, they're going to teach and tell them the same things that I'm teaching and telling them. And when you got that reinforcement, it's special. So, and you know who's the most happiest?
Yeah.
Is my wife. Because hey, we're gone. She has the house to herself. She can watch whatever show she wants to watch. She can go shopping. She's not washing clothes, dishes, cooking, all that stuff. And so she gets a little break too. So it's kind of good for everybody.
It's amazing when you get around good, solid Christian men. Sometimes it's great for each of us to reflect. I mean, there were some major decisions that I've made in my life, and you were a part of making a couple suggestions, and being able to have a circle of friends that are like-minded, put God and family first. That's really critical to me.
We had a young man that was going through some physical elements in our hunting camp, and I don't know if but we prayed. We prayed for him. We got together, and you led that, and we prayed for him, and the Lord answered prayer there. You know what I'm saying? And
He really, really did. Without man, I want to share specifics, and I can't. But man, I'm telling you, the good Lord showed up, and it was a big deal. It was a bigger deal than I ever thought. I mean, wow.
At a hunting camp.
That's right.
And that's why I'm saying God will show up. You never know when he's going to show up. And, so I thought that was special.
Thanks for kind of reminding me, and that's really important. Well, I know we got football season coming up and then hunting season right after that. And I always ask them, how far are you going to go in the playoffs so I can get all my hunting done before they get up there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can't promise anything. I can promise you that myself and my coaching staff, we're going to work as hard as we can each and every year and each and every day to give these guys the best chance to be able to play in the playoffs. And then our kids are going to work that hard because we demand them to work that hard. So we're looking for a great year. We've been fortunate enough in my 24 years here, 22 of the 24, we've been in the playoffs, and we won several playoff games, and we're very proud of that. But this is a brand new year and a brand new team. Nothing's given to you, and we got to stay fundamentally sound, and we got to continue to work extremely hard because everybody else is working just as hard. And then our playmakers are going to have to make plays. And if they can do that, then we'll have a chance to definitely be in the playoffs again this year.
Let's take young families, for example. They've got young kids. Today is I feel like it's a lot different than it was when we were growing up. What kind of advice? You get to see so many family situations, good, bad, and different, but what are some things that if you had a room and one of your children were having a family and all that, what advice can you give everybody else how to deal with the world? The world's so demanding, social media, it is kind of crazy out there, and I believe kids get too much info way too fast. What's the piece of advice you could give them?
I would say, once again, keep your priorities straight. I think you have to have goals for yourself as a young man starting a family. You better have God first and know who he is. And that's your go-to. I mean, the Bible is your go-to. And if you're willing to set time apart for God and read your Bible and pray, man, things usually work out to the good. And the wisdom the Bible has, I read the Bible all the time, and I'll read the same passage, and I get a total different meaning out of the same thing I just read maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I read the same verse, and then what I'm dealing with that time in my life, it means a different thing to me. And maybe that's just me, I'm not for sure, but that's how, God talks to me. So I would definitely say keep the Lord first, keep Jesus first. The second priority, I would be, for me, our kids didn't get a cell phone until we thought they were old enough to get one, and we put nothing on their cell phones. We put it on, or we were allowed them to text us or call us, and they could text their friends. But you better monitor that if you do give them that. I have no social media myself. So I don't have Facebook or Twitter. And what it does for me, I don't know for anybody else, it distracts your time. It takes time away from you. And to me, the most important thing is your time. Is to me, I want my time. I don't want money. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have money, but you know, my time with my family, my time with my wife, my time with my boys. So what's taken my time with my career, my football team? So what takes away from that? Well, if you're scrolling, or if you're on Facebook, or you're on whatever it is, it can't be just social media. It could be what takes your time away. You got to be really careful that you're putting your time in the correct places. And that's what I would tell someone just starting out, is make sure your time management is where it needs to be.
Great. I got one more thing for you, Coach. Who's going to win between Georgia and Florida this year? You got a chance to get it right. Let's see how you do.
Without a doubt, the Gators will win this year.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. I knew you had to get that in.
I'm definitely not. I just can never say. I have a hard time even saying Georgia Bulldogs, but
I'll make it a little easier for you.
But I will take the Gators. I think the Gators have a great quarterback if he can stay healthy. I tell you all the time, I think Georgia had their run. And most people have that run and then they slip away. We'll see if Kirby Smart is really the Nick Saban, or if he's just another Kirby Smart.
Well, I will. The only thing I'm going to say to that is, obviously we know who's really going to win, but Georgia's got something that Wakulla's got. They got a great head coach, I can tell you that. So, but anyway, thank you for coming on today. It's always more of a pleasure just to talk to you. We just happen to have some mics in front of us right now, and I know y'all are going to have a great season one way or another. These kids are going to learn about things that have nothing to do with football whatsoever to help them in life. So we thank you as a community. I appreciate you personally. And we're going to go for there. And all I can say is go Dogs to you. And that's all I got, guys. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful day.
Appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me on, and go War Eagles.
It's time to meet some movers and shakers, people making waves, the Wakulla WaveMakers.